Hello, BookTube. I thought we'd do another mail haul today, and I thought that even though I'm feeling better, I would still take it easy on myself and just do one mail haul. But the post office didn't agree. This is not taking it easy on anything. I heard the doorbell ring, and I thought, oh, it's Tom from Tipperary. I'll go and say hi. I'll have a chat. And just as I was in the front hallway, I heard the mail truck engine gunning. I got to the front door, and someone who wasn't him was driving away, and there was a plastic tub on the porch. Tom knows that I'd much prefer not to collect these things, because you can accumulate 100 of them in no time at all. I'll just have to leave these out. But in the meantime, we have so many to go through that it's not really a lightweight day. This might still be the only video that I make today, but we shall see. Because if I'm not feeling sick anymore, there's really no reason not to burden you with many videos, is there? But let's see in the meantime. Oh, good. This is by J.P. Romney and Rebecca Romney. This is Printer's Error, a history of books, which is right up my alley. That's exactly the sort of thing I like, and that's March. Lord, look at all these things. Those of you who don't get them in the mail, this is what a post office tub looks like. I get way too many of them. Okay, next one is a historical novel of a school that we have seen many examples of. This is due in May. It's called Becoming Bonnie. It's a novel about the crash of the century when Bonnie met Clyde. And I can almost guarantee that despite the title, it will be about Clyde. It will be Loving Frank. It will be this long, new, apparent historical fiction fad of I married a schmuck. Me and the schmuck in my life. when that need not be, but you never know. The summer of 1927 might be the height of the Roaring Twenties, but Bonalyn Parker is more likely to belt out a church hymn than sling drinks at an illicit juice joint. She's a sharp girl with plans to overcome her family's poverty, provide for herself, and maybe someday marry her boyfriend. Okay. All right, so Becoming Bonnie, a fairly predictable sounding historical novel, but you never know. I have a sweet tooth, as you all know, for historical fiction, so I will read it anyway. And we'll just see. It could surprise me. Let's see. Oh, fantastic. Okay, this is a paperback release. This is Know This. And the subtitle is Today's Most Interesting and Important Scientific Ideas, Discoveries, and Developments. This is going to include, this comes out in a week, this is going to include all of the basic stuff that isn't basic at all. All the stuff that that Americans, not only, the typical American anyway, not only doesn't know, but wouldn't believe if you told them. Ecology, global warming. This will have a lot of quantum mechanics in it, all that sort of thing. The Big Bang. I love it. I've seen it. I've seen it at the Boston Globe and at the Christian Science Market, but I haven't actually got it in the mail, and I haven't read it. So, and I love science and stuff like that. Anyway, so I'm on board. What have we got? Oh my! Oh goodness! All right, this is high octane. This is May. It's Target Omega, by Peter Kirschenau. Practices and teaches law and is an official of the federal agency. They don't name the federal agency. He's a former member of the National Labor Relations Board and has testified before Congress on a variety of matters, including the confirmation of 4 Supreme Court justices. Okay, great. This is his first book. This is his first novel. Target Omega. The only problem with the title like Target Omega is where do you go after that? You have to switch to another alphabet. But what is this? Why? This guy's been a government operative. I wonder if this has been the sort of thing, where he goes to work, and on the days when he's not testifying about Supreme Court justices, it might be just a grind of a day, and he's got a yellow legal pad in the bottom drawer of his desk. I wonder if this is that. The John Grisham story. where he has a job, but he's working on the book the whole time. That would be great. I imagine he'll do interviews, and we'll find out. Buried deep in the U.S. Defense and Special Forces architecture is an elite ultra-black unit created expressly to prevent weapons of mass destruction from falling into the hands of terrorists and rogue regimes. Their covert surgical strikes eliminate grave threats so the rest of America can sleep without fear. Until now. After returning from a successful operation in Pakistan, the entire team is assassinated. Within 48 hours, only their leader, Michael Garand, survives. As the sole survivor and chief suspect of the attack, Garand finds himself on the run from the Iranian intelligence operatives bent on tracking and killing him. Even his own government appears to have turned against him, sending a lethal sniper from the vaunted Delta Force to eliminate the threat they think he's become. All right, well, in terms of plot and ambition, I'm on board. Now, all that remains is the writing. Shall we test it? We're riding for the long haul anyway. Let's open to a page at random and see what we get. In her mind, Olivia kept turning over images of Soviet-era industrial equipment sitting unused in various locations throughout Russia. Unused and, by all indications, not even being moved to market, at the time when the Russian economy needed a large infusion of revenue. This, Olivia thought, was economic idiocy reminiscent of the old 5-year plans. Worse, given today's just-in-time market dynamics. Olivia rose from behind the desk in her tiny office of the old executive office building and went for a contemplative stroll, the staccato click of her heels echoing through the long corridors of the massive edifice. She worked out problems better while walking. Okay. All right, so in its favor, that's immediate and, very readable. Against it, the first paragraph ends with a sentence fragment, at a time when the Russian economy needed a large infusion of revenue, and the second sentence ends in a sentence fragment, worse, given today's just-in-time market dynamics. And her stroll is not contemplative. Her stroll is an inanimate object, and it's doubtful that her staccato heels reverberate through the entire OEOB. So, it's immediate, and I bet the action sequences will be great, but it needed more of an edit. But let's move on. I don't want to make an enemy of this guy in case I've got his agency wrong. Let's see what's next. We're not even near the end here. I got a whole tub of books. Oh, fantastic. Okay, this comes out in May. This is Autumn of the Black Snake. It's by William Hoagland, and it is the story of what happened immediately after the Treaty of Paris was signed and the American Revolution was peacefully concluded. It's the story of the open warfare and horrible massacres that happened on the western frontier right at the same time. A story that's virtually untold in American history books. That's fantastic. Oh, that's just great. This was fantastic. I firmly believe it will be one of the best histories that I read this year. Autumn of the Black Snake tells how the early republic battled a coalition of Indians that came closer than any adversary before or since to halting the nation's expansion. In evocative and absorbing prose, William Hoagland conjures up the woodland battles and the hardball politics that formed the Legion of the United States, the country's first true standing army. I don't think I'll read this again, but when I get the finished copy, I will definitely read it. I can already recommend it. It's an incredible chapter in U.S. history that Americans don't know. They think, the Treaty of Paris was signed, the ambassadors came home, all of a sudden we started doing deals, and our next trouble was the War of 1812. Not at all. Okay. All right, great. This comes out in early March. I think we've seen this before. This is Isabella of Spain. This is Isabella of Castile. This is a big modern biography of a diminutive armor-wearing medieval warrior princess who, this is her first soup to nuts, academically responsible biography, and I don't know how long. I read the early copy, and it's very, very good. So I will read the finished copy again because I've got a problem. All right, what's next? Fantastic. All right, more popular science. This comes out in June, and this is Fourth Rock from the Sun, the story of Mars. This is a geological and national history of Mars, all that we know, all that we've learned and studied. Great. Fantastic. Always always up for stuff like that. In fact, a freelancer of mine, Open Letters Monthly, Astrid von Sarisgaard, did an extremely evocative review of a bunch of books on Mars. I'll have to remember to link it down below. It reads quite well. All right, so here's one that comes out in May. This is Hymns and Qualms, New and Selected Poetry and Translations by Peter Cole. You see that clearly? Classic ugly American cover. What's he do, though? Brings together his acclaimed poetry and translations, weaving them into a helical whole. You can get a shot for that these days. So what are the translations that he does? Cole is a maker of poems and worlds. He's not a maker of worlds. Sorry. From his earliest registrations of the Jerusalem landscape's stark power to electric renderings of mystical medieval Hebrew hymns. Oh, so he translates from medieval Hebrew. That's no small thing. So how is this arranged? This is new poems and new translations first, then old poems from antiquity, poems or translations from the 11th and 12th century, then more of his poetry, then translations from the 12th to the 18th century. Okay. All right. Fascinating. Okay, not the type of poetry volume I usually get. Translations from over 1,000 years. Okay. All right. They must all be from the Hebrew and all from intentionally anachronistically classical Hebrew. Who can translate over 1,000 years? Let's see. What on earth? More science. This is going to be a sciencey haul. This is how the zebra got its stripes. Darwinian stories told through evolutionary biology. Is that what the whole thing is going to be? Just so stories told from how the zebra got its stripes, the giraffe's long neck, air conditioning for the termite mound, the impala's Mexican waves, elephant dictatorship versus buffalo democracy. Oh. All right. Okay. I'm on board. So this comes out in May. Well, it's a lot of science in this haul. It's not bad. All right, what do we got here? What is this thing? Yeah, poor Isabella is being shunted into the side. I should have mentioned her. There she is again. Okay. All right. So let me know in the comments field. I've got two of these. So let me know if you are actually interested in an 800-page biography of Isabella of the famous Ferdinand and Isabella team. Not if you live in extreme northern Norway and it's going to cost me $50 to mail a package to you, and you, as you put it in your email, might be interested in taking a look at it. Don't tell me that. Oh, don't tell me that all you like. It's a free country. But don't expect it. If you really want it, if you're interested in it, then let me know and I'll mail it to you. Okay. Falstaff, Give Me Life by Harold Bloom, where he finally just decides to write only about the character he's been writing about forever. He has a thing for Falstaff. I don't know why. This comes out in early April. That's, if I'm correct, that is Sir Ralph Richardson as Falstaff on the cover. A young Sir Ralph Richardson. I wonder if there's any way to know. I wonder if there's any way for the book to tell me. I bet it won't. The finished copy might say it on the dust jacket, but no, it doesn't. But I know I'm right. But anyway, we are almost at the end here. Okay, here we have something for me, care of Open Letters, from Poison, from an ordinary Poison, not a publisher of any kind. So this is be self-published. Okay, it's a slim volume of poetry by Kim Roberts. It's called The Scientific Method. Okay, great. I have a spot for them. Open Letters. I have a recipient for them. And then the last one. Our tub is empty. What have we got? What is last here? Okay. All right. This is due in late February, and it is by Joe Moran, and it is called Shrinking Violets, The Secret Life of Shyness. Right up my alley. Shyness is a pervasive human trait. Well, if you want to call them human. Even most extroverts know what it's like to stand tongue-tied at the fringe of an unfamiliar group, or flush with embarrassment at being the unwelcome center of attention. How can it ever embarrass you to be the center of attention? That's nuts. That's crazy talk. Yet cultural history of shyness has remained largely unwritten until now. Goodness gracious. Cultural history of shyness. All right, well, this deck is almost too big to show you. It's huge, but there you go. That was a tub of mail. Now, I'll see you soon, BookTube. Thank you.